Why are millennials not getting married? Wait, why get married if you can stay single and still get what y'all want? Boy, that's bar. That's a big bar. That's a bar. Number 4, fear of divorce. Please do not get me started with this, okay? Brace yourselves. 2 in 5 believe marriage is an outdated tradition. Just surviving alone in the current economy is already difficult and expensive as fuck, actually. One thing about us is we fear divorce. What is the problem?
Oh my god, here we go again.
Okay, folks, come closer. We need to talk. Everybody, come closer. We need to talk about something scary. AF. Something scary as fuck, basically. Marriage. So today's video, we're going to be talking about marriage and millennials. Okay, if you are a millennial, step forward. Okay, this is about you. Is it millennials or millennials? You know what I'm talking about. You get what I'm talking about. So that's what I'm talking about. I don't give a fuck. Let's not focus too much about the pronunciations because it doesn't matter. Okay. If you were born between 1981 and 1996, step forward. This is about you. This concerns you. What the are you waiting for? Brother, sister, what are you waiting for? Let's face it, you are not getting young. You are getting old. You are getting old. You are not getting young. Let's not say we. Let's not say we. You are not getting young. Okay, hashtag me too, because I'm also included in this whole shenanigan. I am a millennial too, so hashtag me too. What are we waiting for? The youngest millennial is 28 and the oldest is 43, brother. And that is around 2024, 2023. In a couple years, the youngest is not going to be 28 anymore. Things are going to change. So we are saying, what are we waiting for? We better get to this family thing fast because it's our turn to keep the world running. It's our turn to get to this manufacturing of babies and kids, you know? The generation behind us gave us the Gen Zs. Okay? Yeah, we know about Gen Z. So it's our turn to give birth to the new generation, Generation Alpha. It's our turn to repopulate, right? But so for some reason, the numbers are not adding up. Very few millennials are having children and fewer millennials are getting married. Why? What is the problem? Why are millennials not getting married? That is our topic for today. Why are millennials not getting married? So while the institution of marriage has been on a trajectory of downfall for generations, it appears that in our group, in our time, like in the millennial time, it appears that marriages seem to be on a downfall. Like it's free falling. More and more people are not getting married. More people do not want to get married. Well, here are some reasons why millennials are not getting married. Here are some reasons why millennials choose to not get married. They don't want to get attached with the whole notion of getting married. Number 1, education and career opportunities. Increased opportunities for women in education and the workforce, along with access to contraceptions, have contributed to this demographic shift. The women's labor force participation rose by 30% in 1950 to 60% in 2005, and those holding a 4-year college degree increased from 12% in 1970 to 41%. I mean, more and more women are going to school and more women have jobs and are working very hard. Power to the women. More condoms and pills are readily available, which are all good things, all right? Which are all good things. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying these are bad things. No, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. All of these are good things. Like I said, they are all good things. But why is it at the expense of getting married and having children? That's the only thing. That's the question I'm asking. I'm not saying it's bad. Why can't we do these things in married homes? Why can't we go to school and then find jobs and have kids and all that stuff while we are married? Because it can most definitely be done. I have seen it work. What will happen if you finish your education and now you are looking for a man to date, and you can find a man to date at your level, and now you have to go the single parent route? And trust me, the single parent route is never a good thing for the baby, for the children. It's never a good thing. I can personally tell you that we are all fucked up in the head. And what I mean by at your level is that most women do this, right? When they get money, when they are rich, they don't marry down. They tend to not marry down when they get money. They tend to not marry down. They marry up or at their level. They look for somebody at their level. They would rather marry up or date up, but down they would never marry down. They might want to fuck down, but they will never marry down. Okay. If there are not enough single men up there, they would rather share the single men that are available or stay single. Which is why you see most celebrities would date. Most celebrities are actually dating each other. I mean, it's different for men. Men can date down. I promise I am not red pill real, but Red Pill math shows that the more successful a woman gets, the lesser she thinks about having a family or about starting a family with a man who has lesser than her or a man not at her level. That is the beauty of women. I guess because of her high standard, her options are very low. But majority of guys do not give a fuck. We don't have standards. Our standards are low, very low actually. Whether rich or poor, we do not care. We are into everybody. Every girl can get it. Okay, maybe if we are rich, we start to protect our assets, our money, basically, because some girls are out here just for the money, which is dangerous. So you might be saying, but now it's the same thing when women when women get money, they don't want to date down. When men get money, they don't want to get down. No, it's not the same thing. Women, when they get money, they don't want to date down because of what people will say. That's the reason why they don't want to date down, because of what people, they feel like people will think that no, she's dating down or what. It's basically because of society, because of what people will say. But men don't want to date down because they are protecting their money, because they know women will literally come in just to get the money and then vamoose. With most millennials, we view marriage and parenthood differently. It's not the same thing for us, okay? We prioritize individual happiness, personal growth, and self-discovery over anything. Marriage and children are no longer seen as important anymore when it comes to millennials, at least most millennials. It's crazy out here. It's becoming so bad that the Gen Zs are starting to copy our bad habits, and that's mad, if you ask me. That's crazy. Number 2, financial stability. Many millennials cite financial instability as a reason for not getting married. It's true. Hold on. They want to establish themselves financially before committing to marriage. I'm not gonna lie. This is very true. I absolutely subscribe to this mentality, because marriage and or married life is not cheap. Broke and marriage do not go together. You should, bro, if you are broke and marriage do not go together. If you've been thinking about getting married and you don't have money, shift aside, leave it alone. It's not for you, okay? Broke and marriage do not go together, because you are going to struggle, especially if your wife is beautiful. You don't do it. Oh God! Especially if your wife is beautiful, I'm promising you. I beg you, please don't do it. You end up doing co-ownership with other men. As in, you and other men will be dragging your wife. You own your wife one day, and the other men will own your wife the other day, and you'll be sharing your wife. Basically, that's what I'm talking about. No go and say nobody warned you. Don't go and say nobody ever told you, because I'm telling you now. Okay, I told my own thought. Many millennials feel that it's too expensive to get married in the current economy, with 73% expressing this sentiment. For example, there is this show on YouTube by German TV show, channel DW. It's called DW the 77%. And on this one episode shot in Tanzania, they talked about how Africans spend millions every year on wedding services, and how the high cost of weddings are ruining the lives of young families. I'm sure in this economy, whenever a young person thinks about marriage, it actually bypasses the millions that you need to spend, passes just across that thought, and now you snap out of it like, whew, nah, I'm not ready. That's how we're supposed to think, and that's how millennials are thinking right now, because it's too expensive. It actually costs a lot to get married. So no, single life is a very, very sexy life. I promise you, single life is a very, very sexy life. Or you should just remove the marriage from the whole scenario, remove marriage from the whole thing, and just cohabitate. Number 3, changing views on relationships. The way millennials view relationships are changing. Millennials are choosing to test drive relationships before anything. Oh man. More millennials are choosing to test drive relationships before thinking about anything. Cohabitation is more common amongst us millennials than previous generation. Living with a romantic partner before marriage is a common practice. Obviously, we need to live with that person. We need to live with the person, to know the person. You can't just jump into relationship. You can't just jump into marriage like that. Are you serious? You can't just all of a sudden see somebody that you like and you just jump into it. No. Millennials are like, no, bro, if you are really serious about this thing, if you are really serious about this getting together thing or raising a family thing, we should actually get into a relationship and see how compatible we are before we anything. One thing about us is we fear divorce, and what that is, this is the key reason why we choose cohabitation as one of the things before we get married. You cannot just get married, okay? Arranged marriages is not for most of us, okay? It's not for everybody. It's for the selected few. It's not for everybody. Why 83% of younger generation anticipate marrying someday? 2 in 5 believe marriage is an outdated tradition, and 85% do not feel it's necessary for a fulfilled relationship. Just surviving Surviving alone in the current economy is already difficult and expensive as fuck, actually. And now you want to come and add marriage to it, bro? Because the economy is getting bad. The economy everywhere, the whole world is getting bad. How are they going to start a family? How are they going to buy a house? I mean, we already love each other, right? So what is the problem? No need to bring the government into our situation, because when you get married, you're not just getting married to the woman you're getting married to, or to the man you're getting married to. You're getting married to that person and the government. So you're bringing the government into your marriage, which is crazy. So sometimes it's good, because especially when one person is abusive, then the government can come jump in and then help you out. Number 4, fear of divorce. Please do not get me started with this, okay? Brace yourselves, because low-key, this has to be the number. This should have been the number 1 on this list, because this is what millennials fear the most. Like I previously said, divorce is the reason why we choose cohabitation first before we start thinking about marriage, because we have to see how compatible we are with each other before we actually jump into getting married. Cohabitation can help divorce-proof marriages, because now when you stay together, you get to learn more about each other. You learn things about each other, and you learn how to cope with those things. You learn how to live with those things, right? If you can't live, if you learn things that you don't like and you know you cannot live with these things, then you pack and leave. There's nothing binding you. There's nothing holding you together, right? Even if you have kids, you can still leave and then co-parent. Get to know each other deeply, like on a deeper level type thing. You need to know, you get to be able to stay with somebody, same bed, same house, everything together. You get to know the person deeply. But I feel like for some reason it's only men actually go through this process, because some women do not really get to know you as a man that well. They never seem to know you that well, because when you guys get married, they are the first people to initiate divorce after you've been cohabitating for a very long time, and you know that, and you've seen the worst and worst of the person. Women do that majority of the time. Women do that. 69% of divorces are initiated by women, and 99% of men lose half of their shit, assets and or money. Research shows that relationships that involves women has a higher level of divorce. Sounds funny. Yeah, we all laugh. It sounds funny, but it is true. It's actually true. A study that was done to examine the predictors of relationship dissolution, divorce, across the first 5 years of parenthood amongst a sample of heterosexual, lesbian and gay male adoptive couples resulted in 12% divorce rate in lesbian couples, that's woman and woman marriage, 2% with gay men couples, that's man and man marriage, and 8% heterosexual couples, man and woman marriage. What did we learn? Basically, the higher percentages are the ones with women in them. Like I said, relationships that involve women or a woman is bound for higher turbulence, or even it crashes altogether. And to survive these kind of relationships, you have to believe in that whole nonsense of a happy wife, happy life. So I cannot be, my happiness does not matter. I have to only make my wife happy. But I guess if your wife has sense, she will also want to make you happy too. The study also shows us that where there is a woman, there is trouble and confusion. But the thing is, we just can't seem to let you guys go. And that is something that I always keep in the back of my head. Our God is a very wonderful God, you know. He made women with all the problems in the world and all the confusion in the world. But then he added something so special. He added something so special that only a few selection of men can say no to. You wanna know them things? Bunda. Yeah, only a few men who say no to bunda. Punani. Oh my God, that shit beautiful. Punani. Yeah, very few. Boobies. Very beautiful. See, God is great. God, you don't know if you don't know. And the ability for a woman to give birth, that's crazy. That's just something that we cannot deny. That's one of the reasons why we worship women. Or that's not worship. Worship is the wrong word. We can't really stay without them. We can't really live without them. We want them all the time. Even though we know sometimes it's gonna cost us our pockets. But we just can't stay without them. Only a few men have the power to say no to these things that I mentioned. And these are gay men. The rest of us are powerless. And we love it. We know that we are powerless against these things, and we love it still. So yes, the threat of divorce plays a role in why millennials are not getting married. And amongst these millennials, men fear marriage the most because they stand to lose more. But I feel like people don't know about these things because most men don't cry about it, because even if you do, no one cares about your tears. That rhymes. No one cares about your tears. Your tears are your tears. Stay back. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. So why are you even crying? What is the point of crying if no one is going to listen to you? And the worst part is most women use divorce as a retirement fund. All right. After divorce, they do not work. That's the income. Steady income every month. All right. Every month, bro. What if, let me ask you this, right? What if you found out that after raising kids for like a couple of years, right? Like let's say for 12 years and the kids are all grown now, like 2 kids, and you all of a sudden finds out that those kids are not your kids, right? And you decide, okay, no, because this woman cheated on me and lied to me about this kid, I don't want to be with this woman again. I'm just gonna pack up and leave, and we are gonna have a divorce, right? And when you divorce, the courts are gonna say, the courts say, no, but you still have to pay for this kid. You still have to pay for the upkeep of this kid. You still have to pay to support this kid. What you gonna do now? Because that actually happened. So many men, I promise you, I think there's a stat somewhere, I couldn't find it, but so many men are raising kids today that are not theirs and they don't know about it. I guess what I'm trying to say is that millennials have witnessed a high divorce rate and the impact it has had on the people that were involved in the divorce. Or maybe they know of some people that are married and they know of shenanigans that the other person is doing outside the marriage. So they know all these things. And tell me why, if I have information like this, I would still want to take my head and go sign a legal document binding me and somebody together, having all this knowledge of what is happening outside, bro. Why would I do that? That's one of the challenges that millennials are facing, especially if they know that this thing they are signing has an expiration date. When it comes to marriage, most millennial men believe if they get married, it's forever. Divorce is not an option. It's forever. Divorce is definitely not an option. So they always look for that forever person. And if they cannot find that forever person, then there is no marriage. That's the mentality that most millennial men have. That's the mentality that most millennials have. Let me just put it on men, because some women are like that too. If they cannot find that person that is ready to go through hell with them, they're not going to do it. It might seem like I'm saying divorce is not necessary. Divorce is very, very necessary. If in cases where the partner is very abusive, divorce is very, very necessary. You need to leave that douchebag, all right? You need to leave that idiot. But then some women are taking this as an excuse. Most women are using it as an excuse, which is not good. Not because of the situation in the marriage, just because they feel like they're missing something that is not in the marriage, something that is out there. So they just want to leave the marriage. Not because something bad is happening in the marriage. And that's bad, because when they leave, sometimes they leave with half. So I'm saying all this to say that because divorce is an option, most men would rather not get married. And so I sent a couple questions to a couple millennial friends of mine, and just to get their whole mindset on the whole marriage and divorce thing, right? I sent them these questions. I sent them 3 questions. The questions are: do you want to get married? What is your opinion on divorce as a man? And the last question was: would you want to get married if you knew the marriage would end in a couple of years in divorce? Let's listen to their answers. Here we go. Here's the small interview that I did.
Yo, Will, I'm gonna give you the best way I can. I'm gonna give you the best way I can answer that question, man. I consider marriage like how I consider tattoos. I love to look at them. I appreciate them on people. I love the conversation that comes with tattoos and everything like that. But I don't have any tattoos, so I guess marriage is the same thing. But like, I like to look at marriage in that way. Like, yo, this is beautiful. I like to hear the story of it. So in that same sense, divorce is for people that are not fully committed into what they are committing themselves into.
So you see, that's basically what I was trying to talk about. Because of the fact that women initiate majority of the divorces, I feel like most men go into marriage with their full hearts. They know they go into marriage knowing that this is us, for better or for worse. Or most women are just going in there, they're not going in with all of their heart. So
indecisive people. And if you look back in 10 years plus in this thing that you committed yourself into, that means you're necessarily about it in general. Because if you're gonna make this thing about you and commit yourself into it and regret it later on in 10 years, that it's really just a reflection of your mentality, because like it's based on like what you are gonna mold yourself into and allowing that to mold into you. Yeah, it's all about commitment. Yeah, and commitment cannot be based on convenience and what looks pretty on you at this moment. It's about like what is really gonna mold you as a person later on. So yeah, man.
Big facts. I'm just gonna say facts.
All right. Let me go straight to the point. Yes, I would love to get married someday. Reason being that I would love to have my own family. I would love to to bring people in this world that I will train, groom, and see them succeed. Yeah, I would like to have a partner that will share a lot together, because it's not good for a man to be alone. Not just that, but it's good for a man to, even the Bible says that he who finds a wife finds a good thing.
I feel like the Bible should be more specific. He who finds a good wife finds a good thing. That's too broad. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. What if you find a venomous wife, a bastard wife, a bitch wife? Bro, that's not a good thing. You found that's trouble. That's confusion. Anyways, let's continue.
Then when it comes to divorce, I believe that divorce is not something that when you want to get married you should be thinking about, because when you think about divorce, it already strikes some kind of a negative feelings towards you. It seems like you guys are getting married for some kind of conveniency. So whenever that convenience is no longer there, you guys will divorce. So
true. Remember what I said? Say because divorce is an option, most men would rather not get married, because that's just an option to cop out when things are not going your way.
I really don't want to think about divorce when I want to get married. But in case it happens that along the way in your marriage, things are no longer going the way it was, you've tried everything, you've gone for therapy, and you see that maybe you got married to a person that you're not compatible with, or you thought you were going to tolerate one or two things, and you thought probably the person's gonna learn, but at the end of the day, the person did not learn, the person did not change, and you see that now it is actually affecting your happiness and your peace. Because the most important thing in life is your personal happiness and your personal peace. So if you're no longer getting that, then why stay in the marriage? If it's draining you and leading you to your death, your early death, then you should leave it and then go for another that will actually get peace and happiness. But the whole aspect of divorce is not something that I really love, because I believe that marriage is a lifetime commitment. Once you agree that you want to get married to somebody, it's a lifetime commitment. It's I do till thy kingdom come. So divorce is just coming in to relieve you from whatever that is not giving you peace. That's the purpose of divorce. And I still want to get married if the marriage will definitely end. The answer is no. Like I earlier mentioned, marriage is a lifetime commitment. When you agree that you want to marry someone, it means you want to spend the rest of your life with that person. Okay, that is why even when you are doing the white wedding in church, they tell you for better, for worse, in richer or in poorer, in health or in sickness, till death do you part. Right? That's what they say. So that statement simply means only death can separate the both of you. So that's what I also have in mind, that only death will separate myself and my wife. I prefer to take my time to look. There is no perfect human being, but there are qualities that you want and there are some qualities that you can tolerate. You can never find all the qualities that you want from a lady, but you will be able to. There are some that you can tolerate, but there are others that you cannot. And those are the kind of qualities that you should not ignore when getting married. When you see it in a woman, it won't change. Married or not married, it will not change. It will always be there. Human beings have their default setting in life, the way they are built, the way their personality. So a man or a woman can pretend for a while, but their default will always come back. Their default will be who they are. It cannot be hidden. It can't be hidden. So you have to identify those defaults and see if you can tolerate them or not. If there are defaults that you can tolerate, then go into the marriage. But if there are defaults that you cannot tolerate, then don't go, because in the long run, you will definitely start getting stress, and the peace that you're actually looking for, you will not get it.
Good day, bro. I hope you're well. Thank you for considering me. Let's go. And for reaching out with the question.
Let's go, bro.
So, I'll try and be concise, because you know me, I talk a lot, so I'll try and keep it short. When I hear marriage, number one, I hear divorce. Let's start there. You don't hear divorce first.
That's crazy too.
Or you don't hear divorce and marriage. You hear marriage, you hear divorce. It is equals to divorce, because I have seen in front of me, like relationships go from dating to engaged to divorce. So sometimes it doesn't even get to marriage. People get engaged, then they divorce, right? So that's what I hear when I hear marriage. Now, the cause is society, not that marriage in itself is a problem. No, the union of marriage is a blessing. And it's because it's trying to bring you and the other person together and to make you guys understand that nobody else outside of you matters. It's only the two of you going forward. So yes, I want to get married. I would love to get married. It's a blessing from God, my guy.
But
yeah. Now, with that said, I still am cautious towards who am I going to marry.
yeah,
Because society took marriage, which was a blessing from God, and then put the government in it. Immediately you include the government, which is what marriage is right now. Things start to get very complicated. Because when you guys are dating and there's two of you, there's just the two of you, it's all good. It's simpler. Immediately involve the government, okay? Let alone your parents, let alone the two families, but the government, the law itself, then yeah, it gets muddy. That's why the choice of who you're going to marry should be something you would get advice from God, literally, or the person would be picked for you by God. Like, it's for me, I'm very patient right now, and I'm like, it's because a God-fearing woman is what I want. Yeah, that's all.
but are you God-fearing though?
A God-fearing woman will honor the marriage the way a woman should. And you will also...
Why do I feel like most men would want? That's actually what most millennial men would want, a God-fearing woman. But are we God-fearing? Because we cannot get a God-fearing woman and then bring her home and all of a sudden, and we are not God-fearing, bro. We all have to be God-fearing for this thing to be equal.
also step up the way you should. Men should, actually, but men don't also.
Wait.
Now it has resulted as women is what I want. Yeah, that's all. You know, a God-fearing woman will honor the marriage the way a woman should. And you will also step up the way you should. Men should, actually, but men don't also. Now it has resulted as women also trying to behave like men. Now society is decaying into chaos. That's why divorce now, you can witness it around you, like you can see it. It's scary. You know, it's something that used to be a concept that you would hear of, that people do get divorced. But it's sad when you see a couple of two people that you know personally divorce, my guy.
What do I think of marriage? I'm very conflicted about what I really think. I've seen some successful marriages, but the reality is that marriage is not a walk in the park. I get that. First question, would I personally want to get married? To be quite honest, no. I just feel like, especially in my generation, people in my age group, man, it's nothing is motivating enough. Like I said, that I do see some good marriages, but they few and far in between. So it's not that I don't believe that I can, ride my last days with one person. It's just, I just feel like the whole marriage thing, it's like, someone even said that marriage is basically asking the government to tie you down. So, I just feel like, two people can really build something without necessarily getting married. Number two, well, my opinion on divorce is that there is a high divorce rate, but, we have people that really are just sticking it through because they got married. You know what I'm saying? They're in a civil union. So in other words, there's no love or relationship like there anymore. I don't know the exact figures, but it's not looking good. Some people are just together, like I said, for civil union, for the kids. There's this. That sounds depressing for me. And yeah, man, I it's sad. I wish we could all just get married and be happily ever after, just as happy as we were before the marriage. And lastly, would I marry someone if I knew or maybe thought they would get divorced one day? Hell no. It's a waste of time. And in my personal opinion, and I know a lot of people are going to frown upon this, but women always get the better deal when it comes to these things. So if we have assets, but you can use anything against me. You can walk away with the kids, and I only have visitation rights. You can walk away with the majority of the estate. You know what I'm saying? It's even worse when, I'm going to be honest, man, I just feel like we should all be putting in that work. But yeah, so it's worse when, someone walks away with half or more of your estate and she's never worked a day in her life.
Crazy.
So basically, you just made someone rich. But yeah, that's my opinion. Cheers.
My boy, my guy.
Really?
My G.
Personally, I don't think I'm into the married thing. Simply because why would you spend lots of money to get divorced in less than no time? First, financially, it's weighing because most of the girls now on social media, there's a lot involved. So secondly, why get married when you can stay single and still get what you want? So that's.
Damn.
And again,
Wait. Why get married if you can stay single and still get what y'all want? Bro, that's bar. That's a big bar. That's a bar. Why get married if you can stay single and still get what you want? What do you want when you get married? Companionship, you can hire that. A woman you can cohabitation. I said that you can get cohabitation. You can get a woman to come stay with you. Just get in a relationship with someone. You still get all the benefits of getting married, but without the marriage, without the legal thing. Like, you can take care of the woman. You guys can have kids. You guys can have a home together. You guys can literally do anything, but without the government into your business, without signing legal documents and all that stuff. Bro, that's the bar right there. The divorce part. I told you it was gonna be a bit sticky. High standard is one of the reasons why millennials are not getting married. Judging from the above points, you should already have the picture of high standards amongst millennials. We have high standards. Millennials don't want to settle for less. No broke boys. No girls are like no broke boys. Guys are like, we don't want no deep, no wide, or no used hoes. Yeah, we don't want no used holes. Or the holes should not be deep. The hole should not be wide. The hole should not be a hole. Basically, we want perfection. We want perfection, and that is where the problem is because of these high standards. We have unrealistic expectations. This is when individuals set exceptionally high standards for their partners or relationships. These expectations can lead to disappointment and dissatisfaction if their partners cannot meet these expectations, right? And some of these examples of these expectations are, if you notice all of the expectations that I'm gonna read here, you can basically find that in womandom. let's go. Expecting your partner to look attractive all the time. Men can do that too. Expecting them to read your mind, mostly women. Expecting them to fulfill your emotional needs. Both sides play the same game. Wanting your partner to make you happy all the time. Mostly women, but also men too. Expecting grand gestures and movie-like romance all the time. Crazy. Both sides can do that. Wanting you and your partner to have perfect compatibility. Mostly women, sometimes men too. Believing that a healthy relationship means no disagreement. Crazy. I don't know who goes more for that. Wanting endless passion from your partner. That's crazy. Who has time for that? Expecting your partner to be financially stable all the time. Mostly women. Crazy. These unrealistic standards can strain relationships and cause frustrations. And these are things that are mostly caught during the cohabitation period, right? When you cohabitate, you can catch most of these things, and you spare yourself the risk of finding out these things when you get married and when you sign legal documents binding you together. So when you catch that during the cohabitation period, then you can just go your separate ways and no damage done. Unless if you have kids, the kid's gonna be fucked up. Individuals with high standards fear settling for less than they deserve. It's crazy because that's like a definition of a millennial, basically. Why it's essential to have healthy boundaries. Excessively high standards can prevent them from appreciating the good aspect of their relationship, and some of these fears are brought about by social media. This fear of settling can lead to commitment issues. Why am I laughing? That's one of the fears of millennials. People that are not committed, disloyal people. Studies indicate that infidelity occurs in about 25% of all marriages over a lifetime, with 20% of men and 13% of married women admitting to extramarital sex. Right? Amongst women, it has increased by 40% since 1990. I only mention women because, as we all know, men don't cheat. Men don't cheat. We don't cheat, especially black men. Black men don't cheat. We sleep with women. There's a difference. All right, the last point, delayed milestone. Millennials are postponing getting married and having children because sincerely, it's just not time yet. The median ages to get married before was 28 and 32, but now it has risen. It has risen. And just like our Lord Jesus Christ, we have no idea if it ever going to come back down, because frankly, things are bad. Things are so bad, as you can see from the above reasons. Things are very bad. Things are very, very bad. So what have we learned? Millennials' decisions regarding marriage are influenced by a complex interplay of economic, social, and personal factors. So unless you are going to put some money in our pockets, or maybe teach our fellow millennials some manners, especially the womankind, let us worry about it. We usually encourage us to have more kids, cohabitate and have more kids. Don't stop talking about marriages, okay? Because that's expensive and we don't want to do that. Thank you for listening and watching. If you made it to this point, a like, a comment, a share, and a subscribe would be greatly appreciated. And remember, this is the dummy effect. If it made sense, alright. If it didn't make sense, okay, alright. See you in the next one.